You're on, Simon?
All good.
Very good. Good evening, councillors and gallery, and welcome to our April council meeting. Before commencing, I'll hand over to the General Manager to read the live streaming conditions. Thank you, Ken.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. The meeting is being live streamed and or recorded for on-demand viewing via Council's website. Attendance at the meeting is to be taken as consent by a person to their image and or voice being webcast. All speakers should refrain from making defamatory comments or releasing personal information about another individual without their consent. Council accepts no liability for the damage that may result from the defamatory comments made by persons attending meetings. All liability will rest with the individual who made the comments. The meeting must not be recorded by others without prior written consent of the Council in accordance with Council's Code of Meeting Practice. Councillors and staff are obligated to declare conflicts of interest as required under the Local Government Act 1993 and Council's Code of Meeting Conduct. Councillors are reminded of their oath of office whereby they have declared and affirmed that they will undertake the duties of the office of council in the best interests of the people of Wentworth Shire and the Wentworth Shire Council, and they will faithfully and impartially carry out the functions, powers, authorities and discretions vested in them under the Local Government Act and any other act to the best of their ability and judgment.
Thank you, Ken. I'll now ask you to be upstanding for the acknowledgement of the country and the prayer. I would like to pay my respect and acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land on which we're meeting and pay my respect to elders past, present and emerging. As we gather here today, we give thanks and pray that we are always mindful of our service to fellow citizens and to our community. Let us continue to strive in our commitment today and always. Amen. Thank you. Okay, we'll call for apologies and applications for leave. As you're aware, councillors, Councillor McAllister is an apology this evening. Sadly, her mother passed away on Sunday, and our thoughts and prayers go out to her and her family. Okay, leave of absence. Any leave of absence? Okay, any disclosures of interest? Oh, sorry, yeah, we do need to move a Councillor Linklater, Councillor Cooper, for the apologies. All in favour? Carried. Everyone. Disclosures of interest. Any disclosures? Nil. Confirmation to the minutes of the last meeting. Any comments? Councillor Nichols. Turn your microphone on, please.
Move the minutes.
Oh, sorry. I thought you had a comment. Move, Councillor Nichols. Second, Councillor Crisp. Any discussion? I've had a long couple of days. Apologies. Any discussion? All in favour? Carried. Okay, we don't have a speaker. No. And item 6 is the outstanding matters from previous meetings. Mover and a seconder, thank you. Councillor Rodder, Councillor Beaumont. Open for discussion. Any questions? Councillor Rodder.
Just in regards to the Transport New South Wales response for a mural or a light show to be placed on the Golgol Water Tower, do we have any idea on what further detail is required, and can we put that onto the agenda for, I don't know, somewhere for community consultation if that's what we need?
Sure, we can.
Was there any explanation given in their response, Mr GM? For you, Mr Mayor?
Well, I know we spoke about it numerous times for all of the towers, and it was a problem with the proximity of the roads. But I have nothing up to date on this one.
Yeah, likewise, Councillor Rodder. It was around speed zone versus parking areas for, getting people out of the lanes of traffic and suitably in a place to view it and things like that. So there's a few more just details around. And I think while it's difficult to put the specifics to it, I think they're after an idea what it might look like or how it might be shaped so more specifics around all of that.
Okay, any others? Councillor Beaumont? Microphone, please.
Yes, a couple of things. Firstly, a comment just in relation to traffic, and I know we have discussed this matter at previous meetings. The speed zoning from the bridge through to Adams Street, should that not appear on the outstanding action items list? I've been approached by a couple of community members in the last week or so in relation to that section of road and the speed.
Been reduced to 40.
The speed at which trucks and motor vehicles pass through that section of town. So I guess, I'm asking whether that could be added to the outstanding action items list, or at least a report on where that matter might be at the moment.
I think we'll address it in the latter, Councillor Beaumont. I like you, would like to see an update in relation to where that's at. My last update was by the fact that it was a warrant with Transport for New South Wales. They endorsed the project and are looking for resources and when it was going to be implemented, basically in terms of signage and other bits and pieces. So I agree. We'll put it on a list of updates to be made.
Thank you. And the second matter, just following on from conversations with our Director of Health and Planning, a matter that I would like added to the outstanding action items is the installation of dog waste stations in our parks and gardens and at the entry points of our walking paths and trails throughout the Shire. It's a bit of a minefield out there at the moment if you walk through the parks and gardens around the Shire. So I'd like that added to the outstanding action items list, please.
Okay. One, Councillor Nichols.
The properties listed for non-payment of rates seem not to be reported anywhere. Should they be under this section? They haven't been reported since it came up about 3 months ago.
It's a difficult one by the confidentiality, Councillor Nichols, in terms of it is an action that's being followed through. The impacted ratepayers have up until the 21st of June to seek dispensation or payment arrangements or whatever the case may be. So I think we might just handle it in this manner at this point in time.
Okay, thank you. Any others?
I'd just like to congratulate council staff on the great job they've done with tidying up the roundabout in Baronga. It looks much nicer than it did.
Great to hear. Thank you. Anything else? All in favour? Carried. Item 7 is the mayoral report. So I'll move it. Second to Councillor Hayward. Any questions?
I've got a couple. The Victoria Reserve User Group meeting, how well did it go?
Yeah, it was.
Well attended?
No, there was 4 groups there.
Yep.
And myself and Jeff Gunn, but it was good to sort of get the bones of the of how it's going to go moving forward in terms of the structure of it. And
Yep.
Jamie, isn't it? Jamie Lee, yeah, she come up and had all the info. But the rally people were there, the Desert Dash people that's on this weekend. I think there was 3 others. The Gun Club and what's the bike and Gymkhana one? Yeah. Yeah, Field Days, yeah. So, no, it was good. So they covered, what
The other one
what
you
we've got to go
attended,
to.
was the cancer centre in Mildura opening.
Yeah, fantastic to see what they've done in there. You know, getting that I don't know the official name of it, but the radiotherapy machine, that anyone that's been in them knows the pain you've got when you've got to get out of the district to get that kind of treatment. So absolutely terrific. They've done a mighty job, and
Yeah, it's a fantastic building.
And I think moving forward that it's something that all the councils could sort of get together on, particularly now we've got cross-border relationship with South Australia, to make it a real central focal point for health treatment. So they've done the hard work, and what we're going to do is get some support behind it and keep it going. It's great.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Just in regards to the Pinkerry Sporting Reserve Users Group meeting, so I'm second on that, and I've asked before, but would that be able to be put into, I probably would have attended if
Yeah, for sure.
if I had have known it was on.
Okay.
As an alternate, you weren't invited, that was why that happens as an alternate. The mayor can't go, but you can go, that's what the alternate system is.
Right. Daniel and I we both generally attend the,
Yeah.
Yeah, you missed the invite, that's what I'm saying.
I was a late,
Yeah.
I couldn't go at the last minute. So.
Well, just bear in mind, you're welcome to any of those. Everyone's welcome to all those meetings. So.
only if you know they're on.
But you've got to know they're on. Anything else? Okay, all in favour? Carried. Item 9 is the General Manager's report. It's a recommendation there. Can I have a move and a seconder, please? Councillor Crisp, Councillor Linklater, open for discussion. Any discussion? All in favour? Carried. Item 9.2 is collaborative commitment with Mildura Rural City Council. Most of us, I think, went into the new sporting precinct there a few weeks ago, and that meeting, so there's a recommendation there that we endorse the collaborative commitment as developed between the council and the Wentworth Shire, the Mildura Council and the Wentworth Shire councils. Can I have a mover, please? Later, Councillor Beaumont. Any further discussion? All in favour? Sorry, Councillor Nichols.
Only one thing, under the objectives, I thought under objective 1, should it be the community or should it be the communities that represent the two councils represent? I just thought it was
Should it be the plural?
yes. I just think it's something we're going to hang on to, should it be plural?
I feel like it's been used in the singular just to promote the idea that we are one big community, even though there's a border in between us.
Therefore.
That will be very interesting, Councillor.
Okay, anything else out of it? All in favour? Carried. Okay, item 9.3 is the ALGA, the National General Assembly of Local Government. There's a recommendation there that Council endorses the attendance of the delegates at the meeting in Canberra on June 13 to 16. Councillor McAllister, as you know, put a motion forward that we supported last meeting, and she's willing to go along to the meeting and speak for it. Councillor Linklater, I believe, is happy to attend.
Well, on the basis that I indicated that when Councillor McAllister first raised it. So
Yep.
if Council wishes to restrict the numbers that go, that's fine. Otherwise, I'm happy to attend.
Okay. I think that'd be good too, along with the General Manager, who will also attend, so all in favour of that? So the motion is that Councillors McAllister and Linklater attend the ALGA conference along with the General Manager on June 13 to 16. Yeah. Crisp and Cooper. Okay, item 9.4 is the Murray-Darling Basin Authority River Reflections Conference. There's a recommendation there that we can either attend or attend via live stream. Any comments? We can have a move and a seconder for the recommendation, one way or the other.
What a shame that it's on the same time as the previous conference.
It is too, the 14th, yeah. Councillor Nichols.
I'll move it, and I'll move that we live stream insofar as I know it probably goes down as being training, as the previous one does, but the other one was $2,700 a person, and I think it's one of those things that we need to be mindful of the amount of money we put aside for conferences and things, and
Okay.
it always costs this council more because of where we live.
So you're moving that we have the alternative and attend via the live stream.
What is the cost for live stream? Sorry, by the way.
It's zero.
Yeah, that's right. That's what I thought. So, yeah.
It's within our budget. Councillor Hayward.
Yeah, I still believe we have to send representatives to these conferences to show our face and our what we're up to. Live streaming doesn't give that.
Did you have a seconder?
So apologies.
Right.
Hang on. Can I have a seconder for Councillor Nichols' motion? Councillor Crisp, okay. Thanks, Councillor Hayward. Keep going.
Against it.
Yeah, I just believe that we do need to send at least a couple of people that's involved with this. It shows that we're interested. It's something that I believe in, that since we've been doing video conferencing, we're losing contact with people and able to put our views forward properly.
Okay. Good comment. Any other discussion? Councillor Linklater.
Just a question. Historically, have we sent delegates to these conferences? I know we did last year.
To this one, I don't think we did. This is the Murray-Darling Basin Authority,
Oh, sorry, Basin
not the
Authority.
Murray-Darling Association, yeah.
My apology.
This is only the second time this has been run.
Yeah. And I think last year we just agreed to live stream. Is it?
Well, in that case, I'm happy to support Councillor Hayward's thoughts on this, that we do send a representative, as much for that person-to-person and networking capacity.
Okay, so you're going to amend Councillor Nichols'
Yeah,
motion?
well, the amendment that we do send delegates to the conference.
Okay, seconded by Councillor Linklater. We vote on that one first.
I think we need to vote
Amendment.
your amendment or
Which one do you vote for? You vote on the amendment.
To bring the amendment forward, you vote on.
Yeah, so you vote on the amendment first.
Yeah.
So those in favour? On the amendment? To send a representative, yes.
Send a representative,
Yes,
yeah.
vote on your motion. Okay, that's carried. Those against? Councillor Nichols and Crisp against. So that now becomes the motion, which is the council determines the attendees to the Murray-Darling Basin Authority River Reflections Conference.
I guess that beggars the question, who's available?
Who's available to go, councillor Hayward?
Yeah.
Okay.
What about you, Mr Mayor? You're not going to the other one?
14th to the 15th. What's the cost? I'm a little bit conscious of the cost, but I guess,
Just say,
Where is it?
Keep in mind,
Narrabri.
we'd probably nearly drive that, couldn't
Yeah, drive there,
Yeah.
yep.
we? Yeah, no, I'll do that. Councillor Bowman,
I was
sorry.
just going to point out, keep in mind that we have the Local Government New South Wales Water Management Conference about a week later as well.
Yeah, and I think
So,
that one, though, councillor Beaumont, is probably more appropriate to the staff because it's about
Okay.
sewer and water supply in towns, etc. And yeah, so obviously we'll chat on that in a minute. So
$1,200 immediately, so it makes it better.
yeah, no, that's not. That'll be fine. All right, so councillor Hayward and myself shall attend that conference.
I'll nominate the council Hayward and yourself, we can attend that conference.
Okay, do we need a separate motion for that? It's all part of one. So it says the council determines the attendees, so that'll be councillor Hayward and myself.
You've got a floor from councillor Nichols that she nominates you and councillor Hayward, or you vote in favour of that?
I'm not having a good night, I can tell you. So we've got two motions out of it then. Because
But one you
the motion was from councillor Hayward, seconded by councillor Linklater.
that you're going face to face?
No. Yeah, sorry, we're going over here.
Correct.
And then a motion from councillor Nichols, seconded councillor Cooper, that councillor Hayward and myself will attend. Councillor Linklater. All in favour? And all in favour to the second motion? Carried. Right, 9.5 is, as councillor Beaumont said, the Local Government New South Wales Water Management Conference. That conference is normally more around water management within the town services and sewerage and that type of thing, and we would normally look for the engineers to go. I would suggest that Jag probably is Gunny and Jeff Gunn, Director Gunn, and Jag to attend as the senior engineers and that. So, move councillor Hayward, seconded councillor Crisp. The delegates will be Director Gunn and Jag to attend that conference. All in favour?
Just a comment on that. One of the first ones I went to with Aubrey with Jeff Gunn, it was a great thing for him to meet some of the public works people, and that's where things got going on the pump out station in Wentworth here. They were questioning why we hadn't moved on it and why we hadn't finished stronger, but the internal people wanted to meet with, as you say, the people that work behind the scenes here. More so, I was just somebody there introducing them around that I knew who they were, and that they got on well.
I do remember you talking about that.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, so that's carried, that one. 9.6 is the Murray-Darling Association Region 4 nominations for the annual general meeting on the 31st of May. I've done a little bit of homework this afternoon with Mark Lamb, the CEO of the MDA, and the provision under the Constitution is that it is for a minimum of 2, the maximum 5 per region on the executive, in our case, we've got the 5 council members, so I think last year we decided that it would be nice to have a member from each member council on the executive. So Councillor Hayward has been our long-serving delegate on the executive, and he's happy to continue as that. So if someone would like to move that recommendation.
Happy to move.
Move Councillor Linklater, second Councillor Cooper, that the nominated delegate is Councillor Hayward for Wentworth Shire on Region 4 of the Murray-Darling Association. Councillor Nichols.
I was on that many years ago. The chairperson seems to normally go around the councils. Whose turn
and
is
we've
it?
done that. It's Mildura at the moment.
Thank you.
So, and that will continue, I think, this year Mildura, and then the following, we're around 2 years or 1 year? 2 years, I think. The following will be Broken Hill's turn, yeah. Okay, all in favour? Carried. Nine point seven is the finance report. There's a recommendation there. Mover and a seconder. Thank you. Councillor Cooper, Councillor Beaumont. Any discussion? All in favour? Carried. 9.8 is the monthly investment report. A recommendation there. Mover, thank you. Councillor Nichols, Councillor Linklater. Any discussion? Rates are improving a bit. All in favour? Carried. 9.9 is the Heritage and History Advisory Committee. There's a report there that I'm sure we've all read. The recommendation is that Council adopts the terms of reference detailed in the Heritage and History Advisory Committee draft charter and endorses the objectives, composition of the committee and the membership nomination and selection process to enable establishment of the committee. Mover and a seconder to open it, Councillor Rodder and Hayward. Open for discussion. Councillor Nichols.
It's only for a 12-month term.
Your microphone, thanks.
It's only for a 12-month term going by this, and I would put myself forward, because I think you're down there, as if I should live that long, to be one of the delegates in that case.
I think Councillor McAllister,
She has already.
well, the decision was made back, and it's part of the
When she started that, she put forward herself.
the charter, yes. So, and that says the committee shall comprise of the following voters member: 2 councillors, Councillor McAllister with a second councillor to be selected. So if you would like to nominate. Okay.
I actually expressed interest in that myself at the last meeting.
Did you?
So,
So what have you worked out between us? No, who are we nominating?
just, sorry?
Who are we nominating?
Oh, okay. Well, Sue can go for it.
All right, so Councillor McAllister and Councillor Nichols.
It says, and an alternative councillor to be selected, so we've had
Yes.
an opportunity to add in Councillor Beaumont.
Councillor Beaumont, would you like to be the alternate? And then, again, there's probably no reason you can't actually attend the meetings, you just don't vote. You can have the input. So the community representatives, the final number to be determined and following with review of the expressions of interest. So have you started that process at all?
No, wait for this to be endorsed or adopted.
Okay. And then you'll do that. All right, councillor Beaumont.
Just in relation to applications, through a public advertised expression of interest process to be submitted to council, applications from an organisation representative must be accompanied by endorsed minutes from a meeting. Is that precluding applications from individuals? Thank you.
Essentially what that's saying is if someone's putting their hand up to say, I'm here to represent organisation A, we just need something from them to say that they've been endorsed by that organisation to, but that doesn't stop you as an individual to put their hand up and be a part of it as well.
I get that, but we're not actually mentioning the applications from individuals and groups. That's my only comment.
Well, so the advertising could be structured that way, individuals or groups. Any other comments, councillor Nichols?
Yeah, perhaps we'd better send it out to some of Indigenous organisations, because they'll probably show an interest, but they may not read it.
Okay. I'm sure that's formed part of it, hasn't it? All right, any other discussion on it? All in favour? Carried. 9.10 is a reclassification of land to operational from community. It is that drainage, I think, is it? Yeah. The drainage out behind Riverview Drive there at Dearton, there's a recommendation there that council classifies lot 39 in DP 1267496 as operational land. Can I have a mover for that? Councillor Linklater, Councillor Hayward, any discussion? All in favour? Carried. On point 11 is the Part Baronga Caravan Park Reserve, the lease inclusion. A recommendation there to either or to options. Councillor Nichols. The council reinstates the CPI rate to increase annually on the anniversary date of the executed lease. Any discussion? Seconder is Councillor Cooper. Any further discussion? All in favour? Carried. You can. At a 9.14.
That was just the background information of what it looked like previously. So go to your tab.
Oh, that's the next one. Yeah, okay, sorry. Yeah, 9.12. DA 2023-020, a dwelling at 98 Nilpo Road in Wentworth. It is for a variation under section 4.6 due to the variation request and a request that the margin be greater than 10%. The application cannot be determined under delegated authority and must be determined by council. So there is a recommendation there to approve it and to call a division. So can I have a mover and a seconder? Move Councillor Rotter, seconded Councillor Linklater. Open for discussion. Any discussion? Those in favour? Those against? Carried. Yep. So division, those in favour? You voted against it?
No.
I didn't.
Well, I've moved the motion.
Oh, you didn't, sorry. It's a long way home from Wilcannia. My apologies. Okay, so that is carried and Councillor Nichols is against. Righto, 9.13 is a similar circumstance, and the recommendation in this case is to refuse it. And councillor Linklater.
Thanks, Mr Mayor. I'd like to move it with amendment, please. So the amendment, very, very minor amendment, remove the first two words of section A so that it now reads issue approval for DA 2022/082, etc.
Okay, second it. Discussion on the matter. Like to speak to it?
Yeah, thank you. I'd like to speak to it. So in reading through the officer's report and then the other attachments, I think it's pretty clear that the recommendation as, or unamended, would be suboptimal for the applicant and for the neighbours and indeed for the Shire, I believe. So just in terms of the reasoning, from a biodiversity aspect, there's no proposed development within the setback area, so there'll be no impact on the riverine flora or fauna habitat. The current flood mapping indicates that the dwelling would not be in a floodway area, and in any case, even if it's been speculated that future mapping might indicate that it would be, in any case it'll be built to a floor level 750 mil above the 1956 flood level, consistent with all other dwellings in the area and across the Shire. I think if we treat this application on its merits, the concept of infill development becomes relevant. There are houses either side of the proposed development at the 25-metre setback, so it would be not common sense to push this development further back and have the issues of privacy and those things that have been flagged that the neighbours would indeed object to. I think as councillors we have the privilege of being able to put some of these arguments that perhaps the officer can't. I don't see any wicked problem being resolved by refusing this application, and so I'm prepared to support that council issue the approval on the basis that it overwhelmingly complies with the development control plan.
Okay, thank you. Good summary. Any other discussion? Councillor Nichols?
Yes, Mr Mayor, I'll be voting against it for the same reason I voted against the other one. The proposal does not satisfy the points of consideration under the Environmental Planning and Assessment Act. It could go back for the 5 metres, and I believe we've been told previously that voting against a recommendation of an officer, you do so with caution.
Okay, thanks, Councillor Nichols. Any other discussion? Okay, put it to the vote. Those in favour? Carried. Those against? Councillor Nichols is against. Division? Those in favour? And Councillor Nichols against. Okay, 9.14 is the LEP of 2011, a rezoning proposal for 191 Pittman Avenue. There's a recommendation there. Can I have a mover and a seconder, please? Councillor Cooper, Councillor Crisp. Any discussion? Those in favour? Carried. Councillor Rodder, you're in favour of that one?
Not sure yet, so I'm just trying to figure out where it is. It's,
Policell's land.
sorry.
Straight north, straight north of Pittman, of Midway Drive.
Right.
All right, we've put it to the vote, it's carried. Yep, okay. Do we need a division on that one? Yeah, division, so carried, everyone. 9.15 is a Baronga, another one under the LEP to rezone the Baronga commercial area rezoning planning proposal. There's a recommendation there. Would someone like to move and second, so we can open it for discussion? Councillors Hayward and Linklater, open for discussion. Councillor Nichols?
It's only because it's put out as a piece of paperwork, and we probably need to be accurate. On page 252, under 4.4.4, now A, there's a D missing from the doubling. Should be doubling.
Should it be doubling?
Yeah. That's only if this is going to go out as a written piece of paper.
Okay, thank you. Any other discussion? All in favour? Carried. Item 9.16 is the delegated authority approvals as of the end of March. Recommendation there. Can I have a move and a second? Thank you. Oh, we should have done a division on the last one. Sorry. Can I just have that again? So it's everyone again. Apologies. Item 9.16 again is the delegated authority approvals as of the end of March. Can I have a mover on the recommendation? Councillors Linklater and Beaumont. Any discussion? All in favour? Carried. Division? Carried. Everyone. 9.17 is the project and works update, and probably going to be a little bit difficult for us. General Manager will do the best he can with any queries, but we haven't got our Roads and Engineering Director with us this evening. So any questions out of it? Councillor Linklater.
Just quickly, similar vein to Councillor Rodder earlier, I just want to commend the Parks and Gardens team for their presentation. I can't speak for the whole Shire, but certainly Golgol was extremely well presented leading into the Easter break. That was all Mickey Mouse. I would have asked a question just about the raw water upgrade progress, but I might just wait till we have a director in the chair next meeting. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Any other comments, questions? Councillor.
Yeah, look, I don't want to sour the sentiments of Councillor Linklater. Certainly Golgol and Barunga were presented immaculately over Easter. However, I'd just like to point out that I have received comment from numerous community people around Wentworth suggesting that our parks and gardens need a fair bit of attention also. We have many dying plants that are lacking water, particularly along Sandwich Street where the rose gardens, what's remaining of them are looking very poorly, and there's several areas around town. So I think I congratulate the staff on getting Golgol and Barunga up to scratch, but I think we need to do a bit more work around Wentworth and other communities as well, including Pooncarie.
I don't disagree, but there has been a massive sort of work effort with the floods and probably some of the riverfront stuff is lacking a bit, but Sandwich Street, obviously, I agree with. So, yeah, I'm sure it's all on the list and they'll get to it as fast as they can. Councillor Nichols.
Yeah, disappointed. 288, Dead and Travellers Rest. We've put in ground lights before, haven't we, that they haven't been able to vandalise, and it's just a shame because we have nowhere near finished Dearton's streetscape at this stage, and we're having things smashed before we even finish it.
Yeah, okay. Good point. Good point. I don't know, what can we do in that situation?
Replace with betterment, I hope, Mr Mayor.
Yeah. Councillor Beaumont.
Yeah, I wonder, in light of the vandalism that does seem to take place from time to time in some locations, whether we need more lighting, perhaps, to deter some of the not so nice activity around those areas, or perhaps even the installation of some CCTV cameras to apprehend the perpetrators.
Okay, good point. Follow up with direct again, I guess.
Both valid. CCTVs is pertinent and a project that we will be undertaking in terms of the next budget. We're trying to secure funding for that particular, both precincts around Wentworth and or Dearden. So we'll try and secure some money, whether it's through a government funding operation or we look at money within our own budget in the next financial year.
And Councillor Crisp. Just microphone, thank you.
Probably for the General Manager. The River Road at Dearden prompted some correspondence from that you detailed out to us, and I'm well aware of the difficulties of the road, but can you update us as to the progress since those letters are written on that road?
It's really going through, we've got to secure the tender for supplied material and stabilisation, so it realistically will be, go through the tender process for those products, and I think I nominated 1 June for the actual work. Will have seen out harvest, heavy vehicle movements, and give us the opportunity to close the road and do a 3.4 section in one closure between Amaroo and Boyle Creek Road at the other end. So that's the plan.
I would expect in the meantime that there'd be some remedial work done to deal with the compaction that's not occurring in those soft spots that from time to time I presume we either grade or fill or do some minor maintenance work there as best we can.
Yeah, well, I mean, we've got the 40k an hour restriction, which is fair and reasonable, but we've still got to maintain the surface in a reasonable, traversable manner. So it'll be graded, water carted, and whatever else, just to make it safe at 40 k's an hour, basically.
Thank you.
Councillor Beaumont.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. Just in relation to Fotherby Park, the playground equipment there has had all the soft fall material removed for obvious reasons. It hasn't been replaced as yet, and there's, if there was temporary fencing around it to preclude use, it's certainly not there now, and I did observe a busload of children from an organisation in Mildura playing for quite a considerable period of time on those playground equipment just prior to Easter, and I'd suggest that it should be fenced off, so it's not available for use at this stage until such time as it's made safe.
Thank you, Councillor.
That'll be followed up. I do. Okay, any other questions? Councillor Linklater.
Thank you. Yep, quick one. We have signage up advising the people of the caravan park upgrades and things. Would it be practical to put some similar core fluting up on River Road to give anticipated work dates? It is a pretty common question from residents as to what's happening, and I think some of us know, but they don't seem to.
Yeah, what could I say? It's new for us in terms of our communication, getting messaging out there in terms of core flutes along the road. We can certainly try that. We'll do social messaging. The two letters or correspondence that I sent back was basically one of those in particular has got his own cluster. He's got his own group messaging. So the message around the Boyle Creek community was definitely out there. But we'll try some core flute sightings at somewhere along River Road to give an update. That's fine.
Okay, thank you. Councillor Hayward.
Yeah, I just want to commend council on the work they're doing on Boyle Creek. That was a fairly major washout there, and there's a lot of work, and looks like it's, by the photo, it's coming up well. It wouldn't be easy.
No, I think it was trying for the blokes in terms of the embankment and how they had to get it up to the right level and with compaction, and hopefully we'll get it ready for a seal. Yeah, so thank you very much for the compliments. We'll pass that on to the workforce.
Okay, any other discussion? All in favour? Carried. Yeah, it was Hayward and Cooper. Okay, item 10, questions, notices of motions and questions without notice. Councillor Beaumont has moved the following motion: that council form a subcommittee to consider the pros and cons of lodging an expression of interest to host the Rural Regional 2026 Destination and Visitor Economy Conference. And I have a seconder, Councillor Hayward. Open for discussion. Councillor Beaumont, would you like to sort of
Yep, okay,
work us through it?
I'll kick the ball off. So when I read the notice that came through the Office of Local Government looking for expressions of interest to host the 2025 and 2026 Destination and Visitor Economy Conferences, I thought that it could present an opportunity for Wentworth Shire to put their hand up and express an interest. So my thoughts were, as worded there, to perhaps form a subcommittee to look at this matter and see whether we might be able to meet the selection criteria. I thank the Shire staff for going through and doing an assessment against each of the criteria, each of the 12 criteria. And it seems apparent that there's at least one, if not three, of the criterion that we could not meet, one being accommodation, and the other being potentially a lack of suitable venue, despite the fact that we will have a new civic centre by that time. As I said, I'd like to thank the Shire staff for conducting that internal investigation. I'm satisfied with the recommendation as tabled, that at this point we are probably not in a position to host such a large conference, but I would like to add that I think that we should be keeping an open mind and looking to host suitable sized conferences in the future for the benefit of this Shire, the economic benefit and then tourism potential, particularly once we've got a new civic centre. So that's my comment.
300 single rooms is
Yeah, a little bit out of our reach. I mean, I guess I was thinking that it might have been perhaps feasible to have an overflow to Mildura, and perhaps in the interest of collaboration that might have worked. But look, I'm satisfied that staff have come back with an assessment that's perhaps it's not appropriate at this point in time, but I do emphasise the fact that I think we should be looking to pick up on potential conferences to host in the future to promote this wonderful Shire and all it has to offer.
All right, so your motion will lapse or you'll withdraw it? Yeah. Okay, so apologies to the seconder. Okay, I do Councillor McAllister's now. Do it last. Okay, so just round the room, Councillor Nichols.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. Water towers in Wentworth seem to have several leaks running down the side. Can these be investigated to see if in fact they are a problem? They're running from the top nearly to the bottom, like rust marks. I've had a complaint from somebody who came over here for Easter in a riverboat at the new playground area. They say that the bollards are a fine height, but when they went into to tie up, the whole of the houseboat went forward, and they said you need an extra plinth or something along there, whether it be rubber or whether it be wood covered with rubber or something like cement covered with rubber, because they could have severely damaged their boat. So it's only something that probably needs to be about a foot high, apparently.
Yeah, when was that?
Easter time.
Okay.
It's been raised with us previously.
Yeah, it has.
That matter was raised by Councillor Evans some
it
time
was.
ago, and Yeah, there is a situation there where potentially we've got a guillotine effect happening
Yeah.
with a boat coming in over the top
And
of
that
the
was
concrete
fair, and I
cliff.
thought that we were.
We've allocated funding money for the rectification of that, so once,
Well, that
we're
was
waiting
only,
on we're waiting on assessment of that.
it was only at the week, not long ago, because I asked when it happened. And re the camping, we know we have a camping ground down at the area at outside the bowling club, at the parking area there. What is the camping regulation at the next door, McLeod Oval? Because at the moment, the camping is spreading from the back of the pavilion up at McLeod Oval, down past the water area, down in the corner near the, what's the name? I think we either have one or the other because it's spreading out all over the place, and I think if we don't want them on McLeod Oval, we lock the gates, and then they go and they camp where the other 12 people camp nearly every night. Well, there's about 12 that go there almost every night.
How many at the Oval? Well, it's 4 or 5 when I was down
When I
there
looked the other day, about 7 or 8,
Yeah, okay.
spread out and over the place.
Yeah. Councillor Bowman?
I've counted over 20
At the Oval?
at the Oval, not every night obviously, but at times. And then on top of that, you've got campers at the free campsite at the sporting complex.
The
I-
most we've had down there has been 38. Down at that camping thing, but I mean, we need to have them in one place because at the moment they're like Brown's cows, they're all over the place.
Are we promoting the showgrounds? I know we had the Masters games there over the Easter weekend, but
We had social media out stating that it's available, or other than the Easter weekend. I mean, with respect to the comments around the table, without a caravan park, we don't want to lose the tourism trade, so we have allowed, or we've endorsed that the visitor information team promote that don't move on to the next town, stay here, and we've offered camping in whatever locations, including McLeod Oval, the free camping, and I think up near the jail, Councillor Nichols, or down at past the lock or over in the showground. So unfortunately, under these circumstances, with no caravan park and the tourism industry and the need for the town to see economic benefits, we've allowed those camping areas to be utilised.
Yeah, I'd endorse those comments from the General Manager. I think we need to be welcoming these people and encouraging them to stay longer, not just overnight. And I think part of that might be offering a few more facilities around the Cloud Oval or the sporting complex, ensuring that we've got sufficient bins, that the toilets are cleaned daily, which I know they are, and that they're made welcome, basically. And I don't see a problem with free campers around McLeod Oval.
I have no problem, it's just that I think that perhaps we need to, the place is quite untidy with bits and pieces all over the place, and down where we've had them, there's probably sufficient down there for probably, if you want to, 70 caravans. So with the 38, roughly, that's the highest I've ever counted. And it's just the facilities and the containing. I mean, yes, you're right. Somebody has said to me, it'd be nice if we had somewhere that had showers they could go to, free showers. So, you know, we've got every size from virtually a hatchback car to something that's 60 foot long, sort of thing.
Okay, Councillor Hayward.
On my travels lately, I've been staying caravan parks over Easter booked out. Showgrounds, they've got powered sites. They have a person there that's camping there, that's a caretaker. It might be $10 for non-powered site, but if you plug in the power, it's $15. And there's so much room over there that they can not interfere with the rest of the town. They can stay a bit longer. There's showers over there.
Yeah, and that was sort of came up a few weeks ago, but the problem was we had the Masters games for Easter, so
Yeah.
But then that was just my question then, are we out there actively promoting the showgrounds?
Because you need to promote that because the showgrounds are being used all over Australia now for a bit of extra cash and and it's good facilities.
Yeah,
And usually, like over at the Wentworth Showground, you couldn't get a better spot to park your van and go for a walk or whatever.
yeah, exactly.
Nice area.
So that's something we can probably maybe increase the promotion on and encourage it to go that way.
You know, you could maybe get on social media to get a caretaker to go in there, park their vans, collect the fees, and they get free power and that. That's what's happening around a lot of them.
We need to review the current caretaker and their agreement.
Their
what-
agreement,
What
yeah.
that means, yeah.
We'll certainly look into it.
Yep.
Councillor Bowman?
Yeah, I guess that initiative would require the support of the Wentworth Show Committee, who
Yeah.
probably would need all the available space through the show period and probably for a few weeks leading
Yeah.
up to the Shire
Oh, yeah.
show. So I don't agree with the sentiment of the suggestion, but I don't, I sort of wonder about, you open the caravan park up for a couple of months, then you close it down for a month, then you open it up for a couple of months, then you close it down because of all the track preparation for the Wentworth
Yeah,
races.
between the show and the races.
So it becomes a
Yeah.
on-again, off-again situation. I'd probably prefer a consistent policy in terms of the direction or which direction we refer campers, and if it's McLeod Oval and the sporting complex, so be it, and push people that way, improve the amenities in any way we can to make that more enjoyable for people.
So with the Oval, they might have the same problem come the cricket season. So.
Yeah. But every other showground's got the
Yeah, but do
same,
they have people camped
same
around
thing
them?
with a show.
It's a difficult one. I mean, obviously we need to get the caravan park.
Yeah, that's the
done and
answer.
dusted.
Get it done and get them all down there. But
28
did
to
the
30
cricketers have
weeks.
people camped around them?
Yes.
They did, so they were
Yes,
still
yes,
playing down there?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
There was no issue,
28
there
to
was no
32
interference.
weeks, Mr Mayor.
Hey,
28 to 32 weeks, we should have a caravan park.
exactly, Councillor Nichols. Councillor Haywood.
Yeah, the other free campers down past, going down towards Logie Bridge there, but I drove down the other day, there's a few trees down. There's a lot of blocked off access that people can't get to now. Down there, I know there's a lot of sand moved around and it's sort
Hmm.
of pretty restrictive, but there is some tidy up of some trees and that would allow a bit more.
We'll have a touch that out.
Difficult one.
Could be a bit sensitive, but we'll talk about it. All right, before I keep going, there are two other items under 10.2, so we probably should address those first and then, sorry, let me go over there and overlook them. So 10.2 was a city country council agreement. You will recall Councillor McAllister had some comments on it last meeting. And her motion is that council enter into a memorandum of understanding or similar agreement with the New South Wales City Council to facilitate mutual benefit to council operations and to maximise community opportunities. And the background there, she says that she's aware of a relationship between the Lachlan Shire and the Willoughby City Council. So I think there's quite a few others, Ken, that we were discussing the other day, isn't there? That
There are, but there's some good synergies between rural councils and some inner city councils, so, yeah, I'd seek the indulgence or endorsement from the councillors to see if I further progress that or seek interest from councils.
Councillor Linklater.
Yeah, very tempted to second this, I guess. Is Councillor McAllister's moved the motion, is that?
So someone will actually have to move the motion.
Someone-
So
Okay, so I'm,
you
yeah,
can move it. Yep.
happy to move it with a question. Does this relate to the, where we talked about work experience or getting some support potentially from city council
Potentially, yeah.
employees? Maybe setting up some
Potentially,
exchanges?
yeah.
Maybe exchanges, maybe bulk buying on a tender of certain goods and appliances or whatever the case may be. Any synergies of the need or desire for resourcing or resource sharing or tendering or whatever the case may be.
So moved.
Okay, seconder, councillor Cooper. Any further discussion? I think in relation to perhaps the advisory committee meeting, we could discuss maybe how you'd like to approach and that type of thing. Sound fair enough? So in principle, we're all in favour of the motion. Hands up, all in favour, carried. Okay, 10.3 is another one of Councillor McAllister's. It's a letter to the Water Minister seeking urgent implementation of the New South Wales Natural Resource Commission recommendations. And the motion is that Council writes to the New South Wales Water Minister seeking urgent implementation of all recommendations from the New South Wales Natural Resources Commission in relating to long-term average annual extraction limits. So Councillor Nichols and Councillor Rodder moved and second. Any discussion in relation to that? In terms of how long we've all been arguing what's happening along the rivers, that it's certainly well worth supporting. So Councillor Crisp.
I'm aware of some discussions that have occurred with the Lower Murray-Darling Water Users Association, Rachel Strawn and...
Yes.
And I think they've been writing on something similar. I just want to make sure that this is complementary to the discussions that they may have or will have with council.
I think it would be, and the NRC, I mean, it's been something that's been done over years. Most of it are things that all the river communities have been arguing for, right down the river, in terms of the extraction limits and getting the daily limits in, and obviously the Commission made these recommendations. They still haven't been implemented, and Councillor McAllister, I think he's saying, well, let's at least have our 2 bobs worth and send the Minister a letter. And yeah. So any further discussion? Well, you know, new government, you know, so won't hurt to try. You know, the council's had a long history in fighting the water wars and probably will continue to have one. All in favour? So that is carried. Can we do this one now? Or?
In line with council.
All right, well, considering we're doing Councillor McAllister's is raised, she's also sent a email in last Wednesday in relation to RZ Resources, the mining, and an enforceable undertaking that the resource regulator have insisted that RZ do. And she's got some questions out of it. Part of it is the council are going to be the recipient of $80,000, which will go to the Junction Island Pathway project, which was suggested by Zed, made the approach.
They approached us and sought an environmental project for which council was part of. Yes.
So I'll just go through Councillor McCallan's questions, and she just says, per the enforceable undertaking listed with the resource regulator, and she sent us a copy of it. She was going to ask these questions, so obviously she can't be here this evening, so I'll do so on her behalf. So the first one to the GM is, when did council first learn of RZ's intention to provide the $80,000 to council as listed on the enforceable undertaking?
August 2022.
Okay. When was council first advised of the funding to be allocated towards Junction Island viewing platform and walkway?
August 2022.
And does council have the capacity to complete the work and finalise reporting requirements within 12 months of the date the undertaking was signed?
It was only signed in March, and our intention is to complete the bridge and the abutments and start the shared paths, and we should have that component finished before March next year. So that would satisfy that.
Okay, and then she goes on to say also if there is any other information in relation to RZ Resources using council facilities, staff or senior council staff or councillors working for or disclosing any pecuniary or non-pecuniary relationships with RZ Resources. And if there has been any, this would be a good opportunity to make any relevant disclosures. So,
no building around our infrastructure has been utilised, and the only interactions between staff that I'm aware of is our roads and engineering team working towards a future road maintenance agreement, and myself just conducting business in terms of them providing updates for us. And that's pretty much the reality of the RZ Resources project. It's still in its infancy. They've got a lot of environmental studies to complete. So it's a state significant development for which council will be consulted in the process, but we won't be the determining authority. So it's up to the state to command the level of detail to be provided in the to have the assessment conducted, and council's interest mainly is around the Springwood Road and taking their material through the haul road, through that haul route up to Broken Hill. So that's pretty much where we sit with it. We await, like all people do, the outcome of their due diligence and their studies and whatever else, and that'll be tabled before us as a what would I say? Just a participant like any other public member for comment in relation to those studies.
okay, thank you. Councillor Crisp.
It's probably appropriate for me that I have indicated to the General Manager that I work for a firm that does occasional contracting for RZ, and in the last 12 months we've provided a transport service on 2 occasions for them. And of
Okay,
course,
I think you actually did declare an interest some time ago on that basis that you work for a contractor that's occasionally employed by.
yep. And on the brighter side, that I rang the SES to ask for some sandbags in December, and they were delivered by RZ's vehicles,
Oh, okay.
and they'd filled them.
Even better. All righty. Okay. Councillor Rodder.
I have a question in regards to a policy that was in the minutes for endorsement by councillors from the last meeting that came through the Audit and Risk Committee, which was to come back to council for us to review, but I see that it's not included in this lot of minutes. Will that be coming through in next one?
In the May meeting?
Child protection.
Yeah.
Was that the policy, the child protection one?
Yes, from memory.
We can table that at the next council meeting, that's not an issue.
So wasn't the decision to stand, that the discussion from my recollection was around policies needing to come to council laws before they go to the Audit and Risk Committee, and that rather than them coming to us for endorsement.
Yep.
So I would have expected that to have come through to councillors for review at this meeting. So
No,
is there,
we'll make it happen in the next meeting.
I just question,
Yep.
I just would have thought it would have come to us
Okay.
this time.
All right. What else?
Mr Mayor, this may surprise you no end.
No more?
That's it.
Councillor Hayward.
No, I'm right.
Councillor Linklater. Councillor Crisp.
It's just like to let councillors know that I'm going to ask the General Manager to assist me in establishing a committee to do some consultation around the size of the culvert that should be put into Fletcher's Creek. And there are a number of environmental and community people who are interested that when that, in reinstating the road there, that there be a culvert put in. It's something that's been discussed at some length with Director Gunn, and I'd just like to know work with the General Manager to just get a couple of individuals out there, one being Howard Jones, who has an interest in this and good environmental connections, just so that we can get a culvert installed there and, if necessary, a regulator put on it by those, and how to get the funding to do it.
Okay, thank you.
Question back to councillor Crisp. Is that same people going to look at what's needed down here at the back road to see if we put the right size culvert in there to take the water away?
That's what he's talking about.
Oh, that's the one, is it?
Yeah.
You call it Fletcher? I didn't call it Fletcher's.
Fletcher's Creek.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I just call it the back road. No, well done.
Yeah,
I mean, we need something the size of Sydney Harbour.
that's it. A big one. We actually drove past a few today. Even on the Menindee Road. Councillor Cooper.
Just like to reiterate what's already been said about the council staff there. Fantastic job on getting the place looking pretty good after the floods. Unfortunately, some truck drivers don't know how to take a corner on our little island over there. Anyhow, so a lot of hard work, but anyhow, I'm sure it'll come back bigger and better. But no, thanks again to the staff. They've done a great job.
Thank you. It's nice to hear. Councillor Beaumont? Nothing? Okay.
If I may, Mr Mayor, sorry.
Hi.
Forget something.
Yeah, okay.
So at the Australian Inland Botanic Gardens meeting last night, there was a question asked, which I was supposed to bring back to council. So last year I moved a motion for the gardens annual funding to be CPI'd for that year. So is it possible to have consideration for that to be CPI'd along with the other grant funding for this year, or do I need to?
I've already taken that into account and made that
Done.
change.
Thank you, Simon. Appreciate it.
All right, Councillor Linklater, would you like to do the honours and take us into closed?
Yes, colleagues. I move that council adjourn into closed session. The recording of the meeting be suspended and members of the press and public be excluded from the closed session, and that access to the correspondence and reports relating to the items considered during the course of the closed session be withheld unless declassified by separate resolution. This action is taken in accordance with section 10A2 of the Local Government Act.
Thank you. Seconder? Councillor Cooper, all in favour? So be it. Camera off. Certainly. I want to go in the fresh air and wake up. hand over to you, Ken. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. In the closed session of council this evening, council considered three options, although in relation to item 12.1, where there seeks to settle a dispute between council and a waste facility operator, this matter is being deferred, seeking further information and in relation to that one, in relation to a water account reduction request, that council endorsed the reimbursement of $1,075 to the applicant on that matter. And in relation to a tender for the purchase of a padfoot roller, a 16.5 tonne padfoot roller, council has resolved to accept the tender from Weird Adams Caterpillar for the supply of a CAT CP74B padfoot roller for the sum of $247,500, including GST. And that concluded the business in closed council this evening.
Thank you, Ken. Thank you, councillors. I'll now declare the meeting closed.